This is an area that recently saw gun violence here in Norfolk, right by Tidewater Drive and Virginia Beach Boulevard. Last week, a 32-year-old woman was shot and killed in this area, and today was her funeral.
Well, it was very, very sad.
When I spoke with Bilal Muhammad with the Stop the Violence team today, he had just attended a funeral for Delisha Taylor.
It was a sad day on the South Side, losing a beautiful young lady.
Taylor is one of 20 people to be killed so far this year in Norfolk in a shooting, and sadly is part of a growing trend here locally and nationwide.
Firearm injury is tragically a major public health problem in the United States.
Today, the Centers for Disease Control released new numbers about the toll gun violence is taking on America. Between 2019 and 2020, the gun homicide rate grew 35%, and more than 19,000 people died due to a homicide involving a gun in 2020. The numbers went up across all age groups, between men and women, and in both rural and metropolitan areas. But increases were felt the most in areas with concentrated poverty.
Firearm deaths are preventable, not inevitable. And everyone has a role to play in prevention.
And the numbers also show a widening gap. The homicide rate among black males between 10 and 24 years old was 26 times higher than white males of the same age group.
The increases in firearm homicide rates and persistently high firearm suicide rates in 2020, combined with increases among populations that were already at high risk, have widened disparities.
So what can be done? The CDC says there is proof that things like violence interrupters work. These are people who have trust in their communities and can go and help diffuse tensions before they lead to violence. The CDC also says things like mentoring, mental health treatments, and revitalizing vacant properties can help.
Revitalized vacant lots in communities have been associated with reduced firearm assaults.
For Muhammad, he thinks the key is the whole community looking out for each other.
We have to come back and being a neighborly, constructed community. If we don't do that, we're going to lose our youth, our future.
So far this year in the 7 cities of Hampton Roads, there have been more than 60 homicides, and with summer approaching, community activists worry about what might lie ahead. In Norfolk, Brendan Ponton, News 3.
As gun violence continues to plague Hampton Roads, multiple local cities have put out safety surveys. Now today is the last day for residents to respond to that community safety survey in Newport News. Norfolk also has a survey out, and you can find them and fill them out at WTKR.com. These surveys aren't the only way that local officials are trying to fight gun violence. You can find all the ways that locals are working to try to curb gun violence in our backyard at WTKR.com.